Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles Tabansi. I want to welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and when we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And today we got a pretty interesting show for you guys. But before we get into it, please make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. So let me get into this topic here today. Now, as you guys know, there have been so many stories circulating around ESPN after they let go of 20 on-air personalities. And we all know that they had some pretty big names up there like Keyshawn Johnson, Max Kellerman, Jeff Van Gundy, Jalen Rose, just to list a few. And when those layoffs were made public, it really sent a jolt through the sports media system because ESPN is the biggest sports media company in the United States. So when you see them having these type of layoffs, it causes a lot of people to want to know why they did that. According to a lot of the reporting surrounding the story, apparently ESPN had lost roughly $5.5 billion, because ESPN is owned by Disney, and then because their theme parks and all of these things weren't making money. So they needed the core cut, right? And they looked at one of the divisions and they said, okay, where can we find a way to save some money? And they looked at some of the talent working at ESPN and they said, okay, we're paying these guys a pretty big salary, so we need to find a way to cut it back a little bit. After that, various reports came out. You heard Clay Travis of Outkick. He gave his analysis on what he thought was going on. And then subsequently after that, we heard Stephen A. Smith, who came out on his show off of vacation to basically go out there and set the record straight, where he essentially said, listen, ESPN is going nowhere. He stated a lot of facts and figures. He said that for those people thinking that this thing is going to be dying down anytime soon, you have the total wrong thing coming. He said he's fired up to prove a lot of his doubters wrong. He went at people like Dan Le Batard, who used to work at ESPN, incidentally. And he said that if ESPN was such a bad place, why did you stay there all that time and take their money? And Stephen A. Smith, who is probably the face of ESPN in terms of the analyst, he basically put out a public declaration where he said ESPN is coming for everybody, right? Now, when we published these shows, there were people in the comment section who were basically saying that, listen, I don't see ESPN going anywhere. You guys got it wrong. Even though they're losing subscription, they're losing about roughly 3 million subscribers every year. I don't see what you're talking about. We're still going to be the top dog, right? So what happened? This morning was going through the internet, and I came across an article from a website I just discovered not too long ago, and I really love their content or their work. It's called Front Office Sports, right? It's a more business side of sports, which I really, really enjoy because it helps me to enhance my knowledge of the business. And I came across a pretty interesting article, which pretty much said Disney's Iger says he's open to selling majority asset stake in ESPN. And I said to myself, this would be a fantastic show for us to produce today for our audience. So this is really the topic that we want to focus on today. But before we get into that, this video is brought to you by our sponsor, Aura, who's also the official sponsor of the T-Wolves. Do you know what the fastest growing crime in America is today? It's identity theft. Imagine trying to log into your email only to see that your password has been changed. Then you start getting weird notifications from your bank and credit cards, only to find out that all of your personal and sensitive information has been totally compromised. If you think it can happen to you and your family, just know that in 2020, over 49 million Americans were victims to identity theft, costing them a combined $56 billion. That is why we are excited to partner with Aura, who's the sponsor of this video. Aura is the #1 identity theft and financial fraud protection. Aura monitors the dark web and alerts you if any of your passwords and accounts have been breached. And funny enough, after using Aura, I discovered some of my credentials were floating around in the dark web, and the app showed me exactly when and where the breach happened. In addition, Aura allows you to set spending alerts, and they'll notify you of any suspicious transactions. Aura is 4 times faster than any of its competitors in alerting you if someone is trying to open a credit card or obtain a loan using your name. And remember this, every 14 seconds, someone becomes a victim of identity fraud. Don't let it happen to you. Now click the link in the description and try Aura for free for 2 weeks and see if any of you or your family's personal information has been compromised. Start your free trial at aura.com/dreamerspro. And when you try Aura, by using the link in the description below, also know that you're supporting this channel. Thank you. So let me just get into this topic here. Starts off with the headline. Disney's Iger says he's open to selling majority asset stakes in ESPN. It says finding a strategic partner for ESPN amongst long list of potential shifts for Disney. Iger looking at virtually every corner of the business amid historic media disruption. Disney CEO Bob Iger made the company's strategy for his new contract term abundantly clear. Virtually everything within the company is now up for serious reevaluation. Armed with a fresh extension through 2026, Iger told CNBC on Tuesday he's open to a wide range of large-scale shifts at Disney, including selling part of ESPN to a strategic partner, shedding or spinning off other linear TV networks such as ABC and FX, purchasing the remaining Hulu equity it doesn't already own, and even pulling back on its movie production efforts. The company is in the midst of shedding 7,000 jobs, about 3% of its global workforce, in a bid to reduce the $5.5 billion in cost. A move highlighted by another round of cuts at ESPN. Historic levels of cord cutting by consumers have greatly amplified Iger's urgency, as nearly 28 million ESPN linear subscribers have left since 2011. Such issues have also compelled Disney to consider changes to its media business in India. The company is facing a lot of challenges. Some of them are self-inflicted, Iger said. We've gotten a lot done very quickly, significant cost reductions and significant realignment of the company, but we're dealing head on with some of our biggest challenges. Iger said he is still bullish about sports, unsurprisingly, given how live games dominate U.S. television ratings across all genres. But even there, he stressed discipline. It's a business that we want to stay in, but we're realistic, he said. ESPN declined to comment on Iger's remarks to CNBC. Does that sound like somebody that's playing? Does that sound like somebody that's joking? Does that sound like somebody that's saying, we got it, man, we got it, we coming for y'all? What does that sound like? That sounds like a CEO coming to the sober realization that if we continue on our current path, we're going to be heading down a road we don't want to end up on. And basically what he's saying is we need to re-strategize. We need to revisit our policy, however you want to call it, our game plan, our strategy moving forward. And to me, if you paid attention to the part of the article where he essentially said, we're looking to make a strategic partnership. Now, what exactly does that mean? Some people out there have speculated that ESPN could possibly merge with one of these sports books, which will drastically change the way things are done, and I'll tell you why. These sports books have a totally different outlook on the media landscape than conventional media. What do I mean? Conventional media says, you need to go to journalism school, you need to go to this school, you need to go to that school, you need to kind of go through the ranks, and then you can find your way on television. A lot of these sport books say, wait a minute, we want to promote our product, and we're looking for personalities out there that have cultivated their own audience, and then we're going to find a way to get behind them and get behind brands that we trust and we think are going to continue to grow, i.e. Pat McAfee. Let me reiterate the point for you once more. Pat McAfee, who was a former NFL punter, applied for a job at ESPN. They told him no. Now, he's probably going to be their flagship analyst. The same guy that was rejected. What changed? He was able to build his own audience. He was able to build a very attractive product that ESPN could sell. It is really that simple. So if you partner with one of these sports books and they're bringing in a lot of their money into the equation, you better believe they're not going to be sitting here going through the old model of what you guys were doing before. Do you know why they wouldn't do that? Because it's not working anymore. I guarantee you're going to see a change in some of the things that's actually said on television. Some of the, because ESPN has its own leanings one way or the other. So to me, this is some sobering news. It tells me that forget about what people out there are saying. This is the CEO essentially saying, listen, we're going to be looking to make some changes here. And if they need to continue to cut jobs, they will. It is that simple. ESPN is a subdivision of Disney. It's a subdivision. The people you need to pay attention to are the Bob Igers, because they're the ones that are making the decisions, not the people getting paid. It is really that simple. These are my thoughts. Whatever you guys think, leave your thoughts in the comment section. We catch you guys on the next show. Peace.